Так, ну что, подождем еще минут 5 и начнем. So, dear all, let's start. Today we'll discuss how to use Origin Pro software to load the graphs, how to put it in presentation, and how to make literature view high impact factor journals and in other journals. Because as you remember, the next week at Friday, you'll have a talk with Ekaterina about articles which you found. As I remember, it should be high impact factor articles, high impact factor articles, it's articles with impact factor above 11, as I remember at last version. Maybe second year master student remember more precisely. Is it 11 or 10? I forgot. So it's a high impact factor journal. You can put 11 plus, 11 and above. It's a high impact factor journal. So high impact factor journal you should put in a separate folder with high impact factor journal. Other journals which corresponds to your topic you can put in other folder and use these articles only as a methodological and it's methodological literature and as a literature to use for which techniques you need use in your research. But in case of high impact factor journal, you need in this journal find the motivation. Actually, it usually in introduction. So it's a motivation for your research. It's a main goal of your research. You can find these parameters in the high impact factor journals. So, but let's start from the another part. It's how to plot the graphs in Origin Pro software, as I said in Telegram. So Origin Pro software, it's a software for building graphs, tables, and etc. For mainly, it's usually used for visualization your data. It's a sign of this software. This is sign of this software. So this is sign of software, and so this software help you to build the graphs, to analyze these graphs, etc. We will discuss it. So you can download pirate version of this software with help of torrent, or use already downloaded files, installation files, which you can find, which you can ask with the second year master students. They have the installation files and they can spread these files or links for these files for you. So after installation of this software, you can see you can open this software and find the different functions and find the different functions. There's file, and if you have a different file formats, you can import these file formats and build the table. So as you can see, you can import it with two ways. First way, it's from file import, and you see you can put it at CSV, XLS, and other format file, .dot file format, MATLAB format, and other. And in addition, you can customize and find much more file format which you can import in origin. It's two most popular format file. It's a CSV file, and now I will show you how it works. Yes. Value. So we have something like this one CSV file. So when you press the Control, you can set the few files or all. If you put the Shift, you can select all file, then set the add files. You see here the files was added, and then you press key. And here is a major part. It's import options. This delimiter. In different CSV files, there is different, could be delimiters, but you can set auto, or in a separate case, you need to use a proper delimiter to put the data in proper format. There is two types, comma or semicolon. Let's try to with auto. So here is the next place is the first file import mode. You can replace exist data. As you remember, there is a book one here. You can create a new book. In this case, if you have here in this book data, the new data which you import from these files will be put in the next book. Start new books, you see, start new sheets, and start new column sheet is there, like in Excel. And start new columns, new columns will be placed in this book. So the multi-file that we use right now, because we put different files with CSV format. In this case, it could be put in a new book, new sheet, or new column. It could be, it depends on your what you want. If you would like to put different books, you can put it different books or different sheets. So you can this for template name. If you want to save the template for import file, so resize with cell, etc. It's the same. So you can see here, you can, in addition, use header lines and partial import if you don't need all that. So the output will be book one, sheet one. This is the book one and sheet one. Let's press OK and we'll see. Here is the data. Here is the CC data with different files. If we place here, we will observe all of them. Here is data for the machine learning. Anyway, it's a CC data file. So this is one way how to import files. So how to create a new book? You can find here a new book. In addition, you can add a new folder, and you will find the document structure, because then you can save the project. and all of this you can save in one Origin Pro project. And so you can say when you save the project, you will see the name of this project and different folder. You can rename folder, delete folder, create a new folder inside this folder, or create new folder inside this folder. So with this way, you can build the complex structure of your Origin Pro document. But if you will put too much data file, there is a problems. When you open this data file, you will have a long time to open all of them, and etc. What I recommend, not put all data in one Origin Pro file, Origin Pro project, and create a different Origin Pro projects. So let's import from ask. Here you can find fast import functions. You can use this when you use ask to format file or binary format or other format files, but not CSV, because CSV you can import from those ones. And we can find something like this, because most of the software for UVVs, for example, can save this format file as to format, and therefore you can import directly this, for example, this format file from potential stat. So you can see there is a proper import. You can see it in the table, because there is one axis and second axis. Finish. And you see there is in this as in previous instruction, you can change how it could be occur in the new book, new sheet, or new columns. So when you activate this window, you can set the and set the column. You can set here column axis. Is it X, Y, or Z axis? Origin Pro can build the graphs, but it could build only in the regular subsequently ordered columns, because columns should be X, Y, and X, Y, and Z. And because if you put it as Y, for example, and put it as X, and if you want to build the graphs, it could, but it invert the graph. And usually you need, if you have more than two, you will have a problem. So how to build graph? It's simply and easily. So right, like here. You can use this toolbar on the bottom of window, or go to file, set this on axis, and use the plot. You can plot it at scatter, line, and line symbol, and histogram. There is a lot of types graphs which you can add. In addition, you can put the error bars. You can see here. You can put the error bars, and etc. So after this, After this, you can put the change to. So in the graph, there is a, when you switch to the window, there is difference in this toolbar. As you can see, the file edit, plot, count, object analysis, statistic, image, and etc. When you go through the graph, there is a graph. You can find the plot setup. It's one of main feature in Origin Pro. So you see there is all books. You can switch to the book, set the X and Y result change in X, Y here, and then put the add, apply, and you will see in the graph that you add the graph automatically add in proper format. So we put this one, this one. In addition, we put one more graph the same way. So you see the graph. This is the legend of graph. So as you can see, you can see all of your graph. When you go to graph or scale to show all, you can observe. So you can increase to check your graph, how it occurs, and etc. Then go and go back. So we can change the x-axis because we work in English format files, and as you know, we need for the manuscript, for the draft and articles, we need the English named axis. So, for example, here is a voltage. You can voltage use this one format. In different journals, you need this because voltage involves, or you can use, remember, I remember this you can use, or but mainly you can use this one, but voltage could be like this. It's different from this. Here's the y-axis. You can change the name here because it's a current, and now it's in amperes. As you can see here, it's a lot of signs. It's in amperes. But if we can do, we need to minimize numbers here. So we need to go to the microamps or to the more better without the 0 point, without 0 point numbers. We need, we can put the microamperes, for example. So, and then when we double click here, divide by factor and put the micro divide, and we can see like this. The same we can do with this. If you want to put the millivolt, we go to here and change this value. So this current in microamps, voltage in millivolts, but usually voltage in volts, because it's on x-axis, usually something like voltage, time, or wavelengths, because wavelengths in nanometers, voltage in volts, and time in seconds. So, but at y-axis, you can change mainly these values to better depiction of your data. So here you can change the size, and usually this 24 must be, or 28. And the same is this 22. Not 28. Also, the next step is how to change the thickness of this line, because it's too thick. Here you can find the line thickness. This could be dash, for example, or solid, or dash dot, or different if you can, but usually we can change thickness approximately for 2 or 4, but 4 if it's too thick, but we can use 2, usually use like this. Well, after this, we can change the color if we can. Here is the plot details. If you double click on the plot, you can use this window. We can find the how to change every plot for the connection, style, thickness, and color. Let's change the color. So you can see here the 3 different colors. So let's discuss about legends. Legend, as you can see, something like names. Because let's check the books, and you can find that in legend, names in legend, it's the names of y-axis of long name. See here, long name. There is no long name in y-axis, and there is simply a alphabet letter D. So in another case, there is a long names. How to change the legend? You can do it directly through the properties and put it here. Instead, this one. For this one, it's subsecond how it's ordered in the table. So you can remove background, because usually you don't need background. It's this square line. So you can change the name here, or you can change it and the graph legend and update legend. And when you use it, you can put the, is it data range, is it a long name, is it a long name or parameter, short name, is parameters, and you can find the more parameters, comments, long name. You can do it and change your axis. It's much more easy to change the y-axis, y-column. For example, like this. Double click. Second. And you can see what there is. And you can see that names of the legend were changed. So the legend size we can change to bold, much more visible it should be. In some cases, you don't need to use legends if you have too much graphs. Graphs, for example, for concentration, for calibration curves, you will have a lot of graphs, and you want to depict this calibration curve, you can simply add the arrow. Do it like this. Change this one for this, for example, because it's better, and mark it with text. Mark it with text, like this. Go to text with 0, for example, millimolar concentration till the 100 millimolar or 1 molar concentration, like this. That's it. You can use this instead the legend when you have a lot of calibration curves. So how to in addition, I want to set you that there is in most articles, in most manuscripts, in draft manuscript, you need to use the proper parameters of this graph. It should be put in the square, usually, or not. It depends on journal which you want to apply, want to send your manuscript. So double click here, for example, on the axis, you can find properties of your plot. Here you can change the axis. This no change. You can use the type. This is a measure because you this is very useful, but not in x-axis, but in y-axis when you have a logarithmic dependence. And if you want to change it fastly, you can put here different logarithm, but not recalculate the columns. And you will see there is change in the y-axis. You can find it here. So there is you can put the ticks labels properties, and we have did it. We change the divide by factorand for y-axis. So if you see, there is a left and right, and y-axis, the same options, left and right axis, and we can show the right axis. And you see here there is other right axis. If you don't need right axis, but if you need the square around the graph, you simply do this and change it like this, but not put the sign here, and then go to properties of right axis and remove all what you can remove here, and you have no title of y-axis. Then you go to line at ticks, and you see there is no major and minor ticks. Here is a reason. Here is no ticks. There is no special ticks on right axis. So but there is a values. We need to remove the values. Values on the thickness of line changed. So so we delete tick labels, and you see there is no tick labels, only line. The same we can do it with the x-axis. Let's go to tick labels, remove this. You can see it was removed by the ticks, and it's a top, it's the bottom x-axis, it's a top, and the special ticks. You can see there is none, but here you can see there is a name and there is title. Then show the title and remove the ticks and lines. Put the node and put the node here, but not here. Out. So we can change the out, the in, or in and out. And you see here the ticks have changed. On the top, you can put the in out, and you see there's two ticks. Usually, if you need to close a square graph, you need usually in, but for this case, you need on the top nothing. And then we go to bottom x-axis, and here is the in, goes to y-axis, goes to line and ticks, goes to left to this axis, and put it in. And we can set apply, and you see it goes to the inner part of square. So finally, we observe something like this. If you put the in square your graphs, you put all data inside this square. So our scale. So now it's graph. In addition, we don't need too much numbers. So goes to scale. You see measure ticks diluted by increment, but increment value is too small. You can put 100, for example, apply. You see it goes to smaller, or even 200. You see 100. So it goes to X and change the same scale, increment 0.2, 0.5. I suppose it could be better. So finally, we don't forget to make the save project, but because it's in a different case, you need to maybe make calculation with your graphs. And in this case, you need, in this case, when you make calculation, could be the error of your PC or Windows or something like this, and it calls to fail of your origin from projects. But because you don't forget about periodically save the project. So let's discuss. So now we put the quite beautiful graph. Let's leave it here, and then we will use this graph in to put, I'll show you how to put this beautiful graph for nature, how to put it in your presentation of your data. So now discuss about other functions of origin, how to build calibration, few words, because you have, for example, calibration, like this, like this. We can plot calibration curve, you see. And now we need to find the linear regression. So we can go to analysis, mathematics, fitting, and find the linear fit. So analysis. Analysis, fitting, linear fit, open dialog. So when we open dialog, there is how to you want finite intercepted fixed or not. Usually it's no. And a lot of, if you want to provide residual analysis and etc. Control output settings, etc. So let's do it. It asks, do you want to switch to the report sheet? No, but you remember there is report sheet for this linear regression. Here you can see the values. You can see the linear regression equation, weights, but here is no weights, residue cell square, R Pearson's, R square, and slope and intercept. Float it's this one time density, and intercept it's y value which separated on the graph. Here is 0. So in addition, if you put it here, you can change this. But about intercept, a few words. If you want to prolong intercept, as we discussed, you can go to analysis, fitting, linear fit, open dialog, and you can make intercept longer than your calibration range. How to do it? It's put settings as I remember. Or not. We don't need fix. Output graph arrangement. Data set identifier. Fitted curves. Fit residuals. So here, fitted curves and plot. And place here fitted curves and plot. You can change the different parameters of this, about its X data type, how much points for this, because this is a red line, it's linearized equation and how much points you need. The range margin, and here inputted the range margin minus 20, maybe not this. Oh no, no, not this. Let's try again. Fitting, line fit, open dialog. And here in dialog, let's try to find how to make it. You can see that there you can put the confidence level curves. Let's use this as a range. Small from example. Yeah, as I say, it was this. Here it goes to much wide range that we put for our linearization. So actually you can change properties of this one. Yeah. As I said, you need to remember that it could be like this. It was error, and this error led to the problems and finish of the working of origin. Oh. So what we discussed? Huh, I didn't find save, but there's problems. Yes, there is problems with origin from. Let's try once more. Now it should be better. So as we did it with different words, 2, 3, 4, for example, 5 points. As you remember, in your calibration curve should be at least 5 points, but better if it will be 7 or more. So, for example, it's 10, 25, 28. So then the 46, 54, and 60, and could be 69. Yeah, it's closer to the real, close to reality. So the analysis, fitting, climate fit, change this. So now it's more real. More real plot. You can find the intercept with error, slope with error, and r squared 0.9781. So you can find these parameters in those book when you where you did the when you put the data with calibration. So calibration can the fit liner. So we see more information about linear regression and linear curve with all the same parameters that was here. Because we can delete here, for example, here, and then in addition we have a other graph for the putting in your presentation. And let's do one more thing. Let's put the from import as a format file. It should work. Problem, right? Maybe it doesn't work. File import. Import. This other version, as you see, it's not the same which I opened previous because it's Origin Pro 2021. But I used Origin Pro 9 before, but doesn't matter. So that you see this much better Origin Pro 2021. Exporting all data file with you, as you can see. So let's go to other part. Let's go to other part. Anyway, we already have different graphs. So maybe let's try. Let's try. Because I need these graphs. On data. This data. And this. I want some more. Pretty mesh. Data, import from file, and here try to find other type SP type. Here. Let's try to do it. So, it's not. It's not it. Try once more, because it should work. No, it does not. Okay, let's discuss on these files. So, for example, let's discuss another function of Origin Pro. You can see we can work with the data. We can work with the data with directly. For example, as this, add new column, set column values. And here there is a lot of function which we can apply to our data. It's one way. This is a mathematical function which we can apply. So we can apply other properties like filter, fitting, except the fitting. Fitting we already observed. It could be a non-linear fit with the same. You will need to find the function and apply this. We can find peaks and baselines, signal processing with different filters, so on. And with signal processing, let's try to see how it works. It's one of easiest way. It's smoothing. If you have a highly noisy signal, you can use smoothing, but you need to remember that you need this smooth in all case, in all your data, which you obtain for one experiment. You need to use the same smooth parameters. For example, let's see. There is different smooth. You can put it out of review. You see this, our graph, which we can smooth. There is different smoothing parameters, advanced adjustment and averaging, Savitsky delay. These two smoothing filters I recommend you to use, except if you see that you have a periodic noise, which you can, for this purpose, you can use percentile filter, LFT filter, and other lowest, and binomial. But for non-periodical noise, you can use the advanced averaging and Savitsky delay. These two filters you can use for smoothing. Here is a point of window, because adjustment averaging and Savitsky delay smooth different parts of points on your graph, and adjustment averaging goes from one point group to next point group to next point group, and this is a number of groups of points which is the method we'll use for smooth to find the average on this group. Savitsky delay works without adjacent. It's simply use different groups of points to smooth and goes to the next group. But adjust averaging with the previous group could be overlap with the next smoothing group. This is the difference between these two methods, statistic laying and adjacent averaging. So, for example, we put 50, you see, and if you put 100, you see, but you need to be careful because when you put the too much points in these two quite precisely smoothing, you can subtract your useful signal which you obtained. You see, it's the peak goes down. So you can see here there is a difference in peak height and peak value, and therefore it goes to and this leads to the error in your analysis. You need to find other parameters which you can use for this purpose, but don't use these filters if you see that your signal was changed. In this case, you need to avoid these methods or change the points of window. For example, 75 can put and put OK. And we'll see. So, it's an example of how to use smoothing. How to use different smoothing. How to find peak. Now I want to show you how to find the peak area. In cyclical tomograms, it's difficult because you need the linear dependence to find the peak. Because we need to find the end of one anodic branch of cyclical tomogram, for example, and we will try to find the peak area. So, like this. You can use two different parameters how to find with analysis, mathematics, integration. So, mathematics, analysis, mathematics, integrate this function. But as you remember, when you integrate, you use a baseline, and this use endpoints as baseline, because without this, you integrate area on the bottom of this line. So you can put this plot integral curve now. After integration, I didn't show you how to integrate. So mathematics integration, integrate. use endpoints and goes to your graph and put the endpoints of your peak, and this use endpoints will be used for baseline. Okay, and you see it's a peak area, and you can find the maximum height, x0 value, and dx2. So x0, it's a place of peak height, as we remember. As from mathematical integration, you can find much more information than only peak area, and in addition peak height and place of peak on x axis. So after this, I will show you how to use other. It's a signal into peaks and baseline. It's a peak analyzer or multiple field. It doesn't matter, maybe. No. Analysis, peaks and baseline, and peak analyzer. This peak analyzer, it's a separate part of Origin Pro, and you can see the way that you need to use. You can integrate peak, create baseline, subtract, find peaks, keep peaks, etc. You can use baseline mode as user defined. For example, snap to spectrum or not. And as you remember, as in this, you can find endpoints for baseline as second derivative. Here you can use and find too much points. You see 8. We can, but we need 2. Find here, but we can modify and put endpoints where we need. For example, if the soft can properly find snap to spectrum put, and those points will be put on the graph. There is 2 endpoint. It goes to next. Let's see. Here is a we find something like baseline. We can go to previous. For example, if it's not good, we can use other, down, next. It's like beta. It's like this. And goes to next. Auto subtract you can use or no. It doesn't matter. The next, it's a number of peaks. It's found, as you see, it's found 11 peaks. How to find? You can switch. Clear all, and we can end. Or if you can't visually find, you can show other or find. You see that there is proper peak that we need, but other we don't need. We can modify them. Or put, if we want this one, auto increase percentage. Fine. Filtering will help us. You see, there is less. Example of was to but it's, as I said, there is a problem that it's peak, but it's not peak. So we can find changes 80. We defined it's too much. It's not good. The modified there. There is one peak. Next. And here you can see where is the our peak was found. See, this peak area will be integrated. And finishing, there is the same information you will find and the window where it was. Area, percentage, beginning, ending, center, it's a X place. Actually, it's potential of oxidation and height of this peak. So it was other way how to integrate peak and with mathematical or with help of other parameters. So the other part, it's so it was signal processing, it was a big baseline, there is fitting, data manipulation, and mathematics. With that calculation, you can subtract reference data, subtract one graph from other automatically, or you can do it actually in this tables. So in this file, it was about origin row. So and one other thing, how to save a picture of your graph. You can use active graph file, export graphs, open dialog, and set the long name, graph theme, path when you can save this one on desktop, our folder. And you need to save image type. Usually for articles, if you need separated file, it's TIFF or JPEG. For example, use JPEG and change the image size. You can change because we don't need too much. Usually it's could be image size could be about 16 or 8 centimeters, for example. Do I remember? So 8 centimeters. Resolution should be no lower than 300. So apply. You can use auto preview, of course. Close. Let's try to find it. Yes, this image. So, but it's only if the for manuscript submission separate file is proper and you send not good resolution. In other case, you can use the file with which you work in your workbook in origin or other format files. So how to next question, it's how to use data representation. Data representation, we like to use it in our special template. Let's see this template. It's PowerPoint template. I suppose you know how to save your presentation in proper template, but you can start from this one and save the presentation. Save your presentation on the desktop. So it's now my presentation. You can use this presentation for represent your data, your results, which you obtained on the week, on day, on every day. Or else it's better if you will put all your obtained data every day and send a new presentation for me and Ekaterina and your mentors to check your data, to change your plan or for help you how to improve your data. So you can use the PowerPoint presentation. This PowerPoint, you usually put your topic of your topic of your and your mail. So for example, like this. And then other slide. It's better used to the slide. I suppose it's better to use for this type of presentation, better use the clean slide. So from this, for example, you have a data. Good data, you can copy and paste it. You see, when I double click here, this graph could be open in Origin software. So please try and please put your data like copy in Origin, Control C, and paste not as a picture, and this file will be pasted as the Origin Pro graph. The date and time. Because here is the date and time. So now we see there is a Origin Pro graph, because if I double click here, you can open this Origin Pro graph. You see. So you put the data. In addition to data, into this PowerPoint, you must put the other information. You must put other information. It could be put into the text. Which information? Date of your experiment. Date of your experiment. It will be like your electronic lab journal, but it could be helpful to present your further presentations for meetings. And this presentation you can send every day with the new data. Now, there should be date of your experiment, name of experiment, for example, which name could be, let's say, electrochemical study of, for example, electrochemical study of gold particles or particles, for example. So the next, it's a experiment details. Next part, it's experiment details. Should be, for example, materials, titan dioxide, for example, titan dioxide, for example, this material which you use, titan dioxide, or our own nanoparticles, for example, the materials which you used, the main materials which you use. Most of experiments provides in solution, so solution and concentration. So, for example, 0.1 molar hydroxide, like this. So, in this line, you can put all information about your materials, solution which you, or other conditions So it could be like this, this, and other conditions, temperature, temperature, and something like rea- reagents, etc. So all this information must be put here. All this information must be put here. So at the end of your experiments, after that you put all information here, you can add other information about your experiment on the same slide. So, and the one addition slide, you can put the and other slide, and you use the same, for example, and put your conclusion about this, like conclusions, and further experiments and plans. So is your presentation with that date of your experiment and conclusions, etc., and other maybe graphs, and in addition you can put this put here not this data, but you can put after this data, you said that I plot the calibration curve, for example, copy this calibration curve, put this calibration curve here, and analyze, make the conclusions, and etc. So you put it in the presentation. As you see, we'll put in presentation graph. When you put, you can open it and separate origin profile. So but now I suppose now it's better. So when you put the file with your conclusion and further experiments and plans, further you need the other to put other information. It could be literature information. For example, if you in addition add the literature, you can put this literature information. I'll now I can close the origin row and now we can see the how to put the literature. But before this, let's discuss how to find the literature inside this. Now you can see the Google. I suppose everybody sees the Google folder. So now I'll show you how to find the literature. There is a different literature data web. It's a Scopus. It's Web of Science. Science. So Web of Science, Scopus, and final it's a Science Direct. So Science Direct, Scopus, and Web of Science. These three websites used for the literature search. How to, and at the start of this lecture, we discussed how to find the high impact fact journals, articles in high impact fact journals, and articles in other impact factor journals. When we try to find, for example, polyelectrolyte, here, put the keyword polyelectrolyte here. So you can find for different parameters, but keywords it's the main. So, and polyelectrolyte here. In Web of Science, you see the different articles. Close one of them. In Web of Science, you can find the impact factor of journal here. So journal information. And here is the impact factor of journal.
Konstantin.
Yeah.
Now we can see only the screen of presentation.
But now?
Yeah, right.
So you see, I put the polyelectrolyte name here. Polyelectrolyte keyword is in Scopus, and polyelectrolyte is keywords in Science Direct. So in Web of Science website, we can check the articles. You see it's major that you need not proceeding, maybe time to time you need review articles, meeting abstracts and book chapters, but mainly you need articles. You can subtract the category and authors, put the different journals, but as I suppose here you can't separate high impact factor journals or low impact factor journals. But you can change the high cited as articles, for example. So usually you need to find the articles for the last 5 years, 5 or 6, but usually it's 5. It could be because 2021 just a year already. Now it's 9 months, but if it was January or March of 2021, you can put the 2016. Put here. So and try to find high impact factor journal. I know that ACS1 is quite good journal, and let's check this one. You see, that's impact factor, it's 15.881. It's high impact factor journal. ACS1. So next part, how to download. You see, it's a full text from ACS publications. You see, you can download PDF or can't. In this case, you need to go copy the DOI of this article, goes to sync up. Actual version of SciHub, put this DOI and try to find this article. You see, we find this articles. And find this article. Few words about, as I said, what if you want to put information about journal in your PowerPoint presentation. You see, we can copy, for example, you want to copy the image, you want to copy image and put this image in your PowerPoint presentation. So now you need to put the output of your article data, where you can find this. Let's go to this. This is, you can find citation parameters. It could be here, or it could be somewhere, but it's inside this, and you can find short pathway here. I propose use this one citation parameter and put on the bottom of this. And in addition, for the quick find, put the DOI or DOI reference, because DOI could be separate. In this case, you put DOI and delete this part, for example, or put the reference, or put the DOI reference directly in your, like this. In addition, you can put the authors of this article. In this case, you can see more options put, and see more wider reference style which you can put. Well, it's not major information. It goes to smaller, for example, size. Goes to smaller size. Delete this 1, 2, 3, 4. And please try to put the literature view for each slide. If you have a figure from literature on slide, for example, or data, something, or some information from literature, try to put it here, reference and figure together. So, like this, if you want to show for us some information from literature. Other few words about how to present literature. You can present this one and put on the and put the information about this, for example, like something like this. You can do it like here, But Ekaterina will show you some other possibilities. You will show these possibilities in her presentation. I will show you only one example. It's not quite beautiful example, but it works. So in this example, we can use like this. Like this. What the chat is named. Ekaterina, this part. And here is should be problem, for example. As I remember, here should be problem or motivation. The here should be approach, problem approach. As I remember. Over here the result. I remember something like this. Problem approach, motivation, result. I must students of second year remember what should be and the fourth part. Yes, remember or not? What should be second year master students? You remember? You can write it in chat.
Approach, significance, results.
Significance. Significance. And results like this, as I remember. So you can extract all from and you can put a reference here. Find the program results and significance from the each article. Put different figures here from this article and put the reference on these articles. So you can use such format, Professor Scorp like this format to present the different approach or different articles, particularly high impact factor journal articles. You should use for presentation information from high impact factor journal articles. You need to use this format. So I hope you see now Google. Yes, I hope that you see Google form or Google browser. Now you can see. Now I hope that you see the Google browser. So if you can't find something on from Russian Federation, subscription on articles, you can find it via Sci-Hub. So the same you can find in Scopus, but without impact factor of journal. Simply a journal article and view it publisher. In case of if you find Scopus or Science Direct, impact factor journal, journal impact factor of journal, you can go to ASGR, scientific journal rankings, and put name of your journal, for example, Journal of Food Engineering, name here. Find this and goes to information. So one of major part is quartile, it's Q1. One is beta, then higher than beta. And the impact factor of journal you can find here. It's citation per dog for 2 years. And for 2 years, it's 5.415. This impact factor of this journal, or you simply put it in this and put only 5.4. You see 5.4 is the same as we find here and SGR. So it's about impact factors of journal. So article you can download here directly from Scopus. You need Chrome, for example, download Chrome application to download. From here, from Web of Science, you can put it from a proper site of this journal, and here you can download from PDF. One moment, you see, and the top of top right angle, you see the brought to you by Library of Scopus. It's more. And Scopus, you see here. You see this here. If you put this, you see that доступ предоставлен at my university educational, and here you will see two about this somewhere. Somewhere. So, and when you go to the site of different journals, this MDPI, it's open research journals, for example, with ICS publications, you see at the right top angle, access provided by St. Petersburg at my university. You will see. So this access you can use only at ITMO. If you want to access for the journal from home, you can use VPN, and most of site you can use VPN through the ITMO ISU. Somewhere it was, yeah. from your website, IT services, VPN. And VPN, you win through the VPN, you can, no, not through, from this one, you can go to ITMO library. Yes, it's the last update. You can go to the ITMO library for and find about information about VPN. And in addition, in ITMO library, you can find electronic resources, all that you can use these electronic resources, and somewhere goes to auto resources. This website. Frequently changed because in last time you can find here so you can find the ITMO books, ITMO open books, ITMO research, for example, somewhere. But I saw it last time. For example, CS. You can find this Scopus, Web of Science, and etc. You can find it directly. But now there is no. Oh, it's not this. Library catalog. So what it is more university repository? It must be here, maybe, or outer resources. Somewhere it was. What about VPN? You have information. From VPN you can get the home search for this resources. One additional resource, it's our bachelor students can find in ITMO library more resources. It's a line e-library. E-library it's Russian, but line you write and Litres resources you can allow free and open access from ITMO library. Remember about this. You can find the Russian books, Russian workbooks, Russian chemical books from line you write and other and Litres, which you can find. You can get the access for these books through the ITMO University Library. Remember about this. So one additional resource is Springer. It's Springer. It's German publishing group from Germany. There is, you can find the same. You can find the same books and journals too, because Springer, that's books. With Springer link, as I remember, if you put the Springer journal, Electrolyte, for example. Here you can see here the article part. And the same, you can find the article, download PDF, inside this article, you see this information, family names, article, topic, journal names, and DOI reference the same. And about download citation, we discussed further. So it was about how to find the articles in journal with low impact factor journal and other impact factor journal. All articles I recommend to save on your PC and put the references. It's major information because from this information we can find very fast the article which you'll find. So the next part is other part. It was about big sites like Elsevier, Scopus of Science, but there is a websites of particular chemical societies or particular journal sites. It's one of the most popular is ACS publications. It's American Chemical Society Publication Center. You can find the same search. You can find the same search. Yeah, book chapter, journal, article filtered, last month, week, year, publication date, topics, and etc. So you see the different journals. Different journals, so the same, you can export file, find the full reference. So download PDF, maybe not. Oh, yes. But in American Chemical Society journals, not all journals you can download, but it could be. It could be. So you see, we can successfully download it from ACS. So it's ACS publications and ACS publishing group website. Other, it's Wiley. Wiley has their own library. And it's the same. One of the most highly cited journal in Wiley. It's, as you know, Angewandte Chemie. Angewandte Chemie, it's a home of Angewandte Chemie. It's a Wiley publishing website. Journals, for example, limit from the year, 100, for example. So we can find different articles in different. Here is a journal name, as you can see. advanced materials, it's high impact factor journal 2. It's a home of Wiley. 2. Advanced functional materials, as I remember, it's impact factor, high impact factor journal. So you can find these articles, and the same you can find the reference, find the full reference like here, and download PDF maybe too. Yeah, you see here we can download directly PDF. We have a full access from tomorrow for this article and can download it for our PC. So we can see if we have permission or not. Let's check. Let's check where we can see. Do we have access or not? You see here, Wiley Online Library and access from Itmo University. Yeah. So it's Wiley. And about, I said you about Springer link. You can find the same to my journals, etc. It's a separate Springer Wiley ACS, American Chemical Society publishing group. It's different publishing groups where you can find the articles too. Science Direct and Elsevier publishing group. You can see here it's Elsevier publishing group, home of Elsevier publishing group. It's Science Direct. You can find all articles from Elsevier publishing group at Science Direct. So in addition, at the final for today talk, it's about how to put the references. I'll show you before that you can separately copy and paste reference into PowerPoint presentation or in Word, but it's too difficult because in Word when you write your drafts, literature view, etc., and the PowerPoint tool, you need to do it much more faster. For this purpose, there is different software. One software, it's a Mendeley software. It's a reference manager that allows you fast and properly put your reference. And Mendeley, it's a free software, and other software, it's EndNote software, the same purpose of EndNote, but EndNote it's not free, and you can download it from torrent, for example, if you want. But you can use Mendeley and put references in Mendeley. How to put this reference? When you download this reference manager, you find instructions how to do it, and you need to remember that it's very easy, and how to find this automatically built references. You see here, for example, export and res and citation, and you can download this one. There is different options. You can find res with text, but res usually used in Mendeley and EndNote too. So here, for example, in Wiley, you can use tools, export citation. In export citation, you can use format. You can use READS, for example, to download and put this one. At every journal, you can use every of sites that I show you. You can find these export options. Publishing group. Inside this article, download citation. You see, it's a READS format. So where we can do it here, export and READS, big text or other, full export and READS format. You see, it's all READS format files. Here, site, export citation, and citation. Scopus, export, READS format, Mendeley format, for example, information about citation, you can put everything or not, and save this one. So this now I use the EndNote, and this meta you can use Mendeley, but if you will write the draft, only you can possibility will have possibility to make change in your draft way if you use Mendeley, for example. So
now we can see the Google.
okay. So now you see it's a note. Now you can see a note. Import. Choose. And so this one. Okay. Or you simply can put on the downloaded files and it will be opened. So you see this citation. So then we can go to, for example, PowerPoint. I'll show an PowerPoint example, but you can use it even for the Word too, and for Word, it will be much more useful. But in PowerPoint, you can use it too. So the last, it's I open PowerPoint. Now I go to here. In PowerPoint, I need to the text. Then I go to here. No, my PowerPoint doesn't work. Insert reference. And all reference, for example, which find I'll put here. So you can see this one. You can see how it is the all reference. So in Note and Mendeley, you can change reference style, for example, Ghost reference style, Journal of American Chemical Society, and quantity, so like this. Now I will show you how it works in Word, because it's more actual for Word. Also you write something and once you write something. So you write something and goes to a note, set one or all our references, and due to the last we will use the word, we can check the insert citation. It's the same, the word and note and Mendeley, and you see as we automatically put the references. We can, as I said, we can change the reference format. GOST, for example, American Chemical Society. Also date different, you see here reference like this inside the text, and here is a bibliography. Now it goes tom, номер. So you can use this, and you must use this Mendeley or EndNote. Mendeley is free, EndNote it's you can use pirate version. So you can set any type of software which is appropriate for you. So for today, I suppose it's all. At the next time, at the next week, from Tuesday, we start to show the equipment which in our labs, I suppose, and Tuesday we will show sky-electron microscope with ADX and QCM. Anna with Vladimir will show you this, and at Wednesday I'll show you potential stat maybe, and Thursday and Friday I'll do lecture about multimodal sensing platform, about sensors and multimodal sensors. I'll do it next Thursday and Friday. So for today it's all. Thank you. Bye.